Hi everyone, my name is Junon. I have a health science background, and I'm the author of the book Truth and Empathy: How to Find Your Soulmate. And I'll put a link to the book below. This video is the MBTI personality type assessment of Harry Styles. The first thing that people need to understand when it comes to the MBTI 16 personality types is that they can be grouped into four main ones. The first one is sensor judgers, the second, sensor perceivers, the third, intuitive thinkers, and the last one, intuitive feelers. To me, Harry Styles comes across as a sensor perceiver, and I will explain why. I wrote some notes here so that I can go into more details about why I think he falls into this group. So the first thing that most people know about Harry Styles is that he's an English singer-songwriter, and he became popular because he was part of the One Direction, very successful boy band. That were put together around 2010, and after that, the rest is history. And when you look at Harry Styles, is that first of all, he is an entertainer, so he sings, he writes songs, but also he's very much interested in acting. And this is something you see a lot when it comes to sensor perceivers. So they can do a number of things when it comes to performance art. So either they could be dancers, singers, songwriters, and they can move from one to another, and without having to have gone through a lot of training. It's almost like yes, you can become a better actor, but it's difficult to be an actor if it's not part of who you are. So that's one thing that you see with Harry Styles. So he was in Saturday Night Live in 2017 and 2019. He was part of the movie Dunkirk in 2017, and there's this new movie coming up in 2021, Don't Worry Darling, and now in this movie he is the lead. Now, the part that's kind of interesting is that he is rather comfortable with risk, because when you think about it, when he was let's say 16 years old and auditioning for the X Factor, this was not his first attempt at becoming a singer. So he was part of the band before, and also he was part of like theater production when he was in school. So this is something that's been part of him for a long time, and it comes naturally to him. The other aspect when it comes to Harry Styles is that he's very much about authenticity. So he's very much into presenting an authentic version of himself and letting others do the same. That's why when it comes to his music, he wanted to be very personal. So when you listen to his album, it's especially the first one. The second also, you can actually see that quite a bit, is that he likes to try different sounds, different way of arranging the music, so that he wants to not be bored, but also be as much as himself as he can be. And you see it also in terms of his sense of fashion. He will wear things that most people won't, change his hair, style. And for example, when he wore that dress on that Vogue magazine cover, that obviously was controversial. And he's someone that doesn't mind going against the grain. And that is very much a character, someone who has introvert feeling in their first or second function. So they're very interested in being authentic. The other aspect with Harry Styles is that he is afraid of being alone. And you'll see that often with people who are extroverts. So I remember Ed Sheeran, who's one of his friends, told this story of when Harry Styles became rich through One Direction, bought a house, but moved in with him in a smaller space because he didn't want to live alone in this big house on his own. So in other words, he feels energized by being with other people. And you'll see that he likes to perform, he likes to tour. So this is someone who likes the spotlight. The other aspect in terms he's an extrovert, and going back to him being a feminine energy, is that his motto is treat others with kindness. So this means that most likely this is not a masculine energy. Feminine energy is very much interested in being empathic, being understanding, and you'll hear comments from a number of other celebrities that Harry Styles is not the confrontational type. He likes to get along with people, and he is a very charming person, most likely if you meet him. So he knows how to make others feel comfortable, and this is like a typical feminine sensor perceiver type of behavior that you will see. The other aspect when it comes to Harry Styles is that he, in terms of his romantic relationships, they don't last a long period of time. So they're shorter, maybe like a year or two. So you rarely hear him being in the same relationship for 5, 10, 20 years. Obviously, he's young. That's one thing. But when you actually look at this behavior, it is in line with sensor perceivers. And that could be exacerbated by the fact that, well, he's young. He's only 27 years old. His personality type, but also the fact that as a singer, songwriter, he tours. So he writes an album and he's not in the same city for a long period of time. So it puts a lot of strain on his relationships. But it is in line with what he's passionate about in terms of being an artist. So that's why I would say that, is it one of the other? It's like you can tell that this type of lifestyle is not very conducive for deep, close relationships. Harry Styles very much promotes self-acceptance and authenticity from others, so much so even in terms of his sexuality. I remember watching this interview while he was still in One Direction, and the interviewer asked him to describe his ideal mate. And he said that it doesn't matter if the person is male or female. So he's not really bothered by these things. And that is very much, when it comes to sensor perceivers, they are about embracing what is different. They are about opening up borders. They're curious. So you'll see that they're rarely sexist, racist, or things of the sort because they embrace difference instead of being afraid of them. So for all these reasons, I would say that Harry Styles is probably an ESFP. And you can let me know if it's along what you thought of him. To summarize, Harry Styles, to me, he is an ESFP because he is an entertainer in terms of being songwriter, a singer, an actor, and even in terms of his acting, you can do comedy or something that is more serious. He also is very much about embracing authenticity. He's a feminine energy, so he's someone who, as it says, treat people with kindness is his motto. And he is someone also who likes the spotlight and doesn't like to be alone. So that is in line with being an extrovert. So if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, comment, obviously. Please click on the like button, subscribe to my channel, and we will talk soon.